Ooh, I'm a little bit bright. Mayang buntag, mayang hapon, mayang gabi, no matter where you are in the world. I'm hoping everything's working right today. Give me just a second. Let me double check. That I did figure out what was going on with, well, kind of figured out what was going on with the Streamlabs desktop version. And for some reason, I had to remove and reinstall all of the audio inputs. Hey, I can hear myself. I was hoping to get the echoes going, but that was actually kind of cool. I have audio. I'm a happy camper today. That okay. Cindy was letting me know that she wasn't hearing any audio to that one, which she's actually really cool. She does come here and listen at least. The last few weeks that she's just been so pregnant. A lot of things just aren't happening like we'd like to. And it's just a reality of life. Good morning, Mr. David Brown. How are you doing today? My apologies for yet another office live stream. I realize they're nowhere near as much fun or enjoyable as the others. There we go. That's a little bit more level. Yeah, that this office setup is definitely a work in progress each time. And yes, I moved it so you didn't see the bathroom door that's open. So I welcome to my life. I had planned on doing a walking live stream over by where Cindy and Mem Jess were in school. Mem Jess was Cindy can explain what Mem Jess was, that she was an employee of the school while Cindy was working there, that she was head of HR department or something like that. And so, but I planned on going over there, but from about 6:30, it started raining. It let up about 8, and so I was thinking maybe I can get out there quick. And then about 10 minutes later, it started opening up and pouring again. So it sounds like it's just starting to let up and stop. I had gotten a little bit of video that I was going to try and go into the Streamlabs and show, but I didn't get the Streamlabs up and running quite in time. I had planned on having today to figure it out for tomorrow, but I did figure out, or I didn't actually figure it out what was wrong with it, but for some reason, I had to go back and delete all the audio inputs and reinstall them. So I don't know what changed other than I pull out, we take the computer in the bedroom and watch movies on Amazon or Netflix or whatever at night. And so I'm frequently pulling out the USB hub and then plugging it in each morning. I definitely can understand that guy. That kind of goes back to that old adage about, you know, I love my country, it's my government I fear. definitely go deal with that. That's way more important. I'm glad you. I truly appreciate you stopping in, and I'm glad you did stop in for a few minutes. Uh, you'll have to let me know how that goes. That could be kind of interesting. Uh, I don't know how I can show this. You see, I know Cindy's watching. I don't know if you got. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this.
Cindy was letting me know that she wasn't hearing any audio to that one. Which she's actually really cool. She does come here and listen at least.
Stupid thing. I'm trying to show something
last
here.
few weeks, she's just been so pregnant. A lot of things just aren't happening like we'd like. That,
If you notice, there's 0 viewers, and I know there's at least one.
How you doing today?
So for whatever reason, YouTube's viewer count is horribly off. Now all of a sudden it bumped right back up to 2. So I pay a little bit of attention to the view count, but I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. I've had too many problems early on when I was first starting to do this of actually ending live streams because I didn't see any viewers and nobody was commenting. And so more than once I had somebody tell me, I was watching and enjoying it, but for whatever reason just wasn't able to make comments and such. And so after the second one of those, that I made up my mind, that I'm going to commit to doing it for a specific period. It's kind of morphed into an hour long and not worry about whether there's view count or comments. A lot of times going back and in a day or two when it hits up on analytics, you'll see that there was viewers watching it, sometimes even 4 or 5, but no comments. And so, and I realize a lot of people, myself, a lot of times, love Beyond the Sea, Bob, that he'll do live streams. And a lot of times, with it, I'll actually just put it in and put headphones in because he does them like this. And he has some pretty interesting topics. I'm actually a moderator on his site. And so I'll just go about doing house chores and stuff like that and listen to it on my Bluetooth. And so, yeah, I don't always comment. And I recognize a lot of people do that. They will have these up and either be Steve from This Is Our Philippines, that he'll often be driving and listening to the broadcast, kind of like a podcast. And so I've just made up my mind to just keep going and not worry about whether or not there's comments and assume that there actually are people watching. I was going to look something up. Oh, I know what I was going to look up real quick. I'll wait till I get more people here. That if no one has noticed, I think most of the people that watch this subscribe to our Filter Phoenix website as well. And on there that I posted a new vlog entry. And I'm gonna try, emphasis on try. I thought about not announcing this until I actually did manage to get a couple weeks, but I've actually got one pretty much ready for next Monday. Monday morning, Cebu time, like 5, 6 in the morning, I'm going to start posting vlog entries on there, just random thoughts. This week's happened to be on Burr months. Here in the Philippines, that they celebrate Christmas, that they have the longest official Christmas season in the world. Beginning September 1st, you will start hearing Christmas music being played all over. You'll see decorations come up out of nowhere. And it's actually really cool to see that. Last year, there wasn't the fiestas and festivals that they would normally have. They were all shut down. This year, I'm hoping there's going to be some. I would really like to see them here. And it'll be Pumpkin's first Christmas, so it'll be kind of cool to get some photos of just that, her first Christmas, and hopefully being able to go out and see some of this. But I don't know. Last year, I kind of wanted to go to that Simbang Gabi, the 9-night service. But the church in Sabunga had gotten permission to do it, but with a very limited seating capacity. And because of that, I didn't want to go take up a seat that an actual devout person would want. I may try to do some video from the church area here in Our Lady of Guadalupe for a night or two during that, to just try and document it and to do video, not even try to go into the service. But there's a bunch of other things that I'm hoping against hope that it's going to be a little bit better this year. That last year, hardly any of this went on. And I was really kind of saddened because it was my first Christmas in the Philippines. But there again, 2019 was the last Bunga Days, the Sabunga Town Festival. That last year it was completely shut down. Nothing happened. Everybody was going to quarantine. And this year, that although it was a little bit more open and some of the people had their private celebrations, none of the parades, none of the church festivals, none of that was going on either. And so the one that we were looking forward to be here for just didn't happen. Yeah, and it's too bad. And this situation's drug itself out long enough that it needs to end. And fortunately, a lot of places are saying now that it's over, it's done. Not every place is going to quite Singapore. What I would like to see that they're even stopping testing for it, and unless you're actually hospitalized, that they're not even testing for it. And the only reason they're testing during hospitalization is just to verify what they're treating, which should have been done from the very get-go. This whole scenario it has been a fiasco from the get-go. But enough of that. Cindy's actually doing a lot better. That she's very pregnant, without question. That she's showing quite a bit. Yesterday, she got up and did dishes, and it took her almost an hour and a half. That she'd get up, she'd do a little bit, and then she'd go sit down. And she'd get up, do a little bit, and go sit down. And so, and that's how she does things at this point. And we'll do a little bit and then rest, do a little bit and then rest. And I'm highly encouraging her to do that. Last Wednesday, we were supposed to go down and make a deposit. Last Thursday, we were supposed to go down and make a bank deposit. And one Thursday, one day it was raining and one day she just wasn't up to it. I think it was Thursday that she just was not up to it, and Friday that it was raining or something like that. But so it got put off until today, and it's not direly important that it had to have been done then. But one way or another, I need to go down and get it done today, whether it's me go down or her and I go down. Because we do need to make a deposit and a transfer, it would be a little bit easier and more expedient for both of us to go. But also, she has a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, and she pretty much needs an entire day to recover from a day out. So, if she doesn't go today, I'm not going to be horribly upset, but I will need to get down and get those two things taken care of. Again, the only advantage to me going by myself is I can take Rusi, and that opens up a little bit better parking opportunities. But there again, we'll normally take Sunshine and park over at Enzo's Meat, just run in and grab something from them anyhow, which we need to do anyhow. So either way, it would be not a problem. She does want me to go get some fruits, and that would be a cool thing. And I like to see her try and get out at least once or twice a week, just to keep active again. And I realize that's here in a couple weeks. Probably the next doctor's appointment is going to be the last outing she does before giving birth. Just because at that point it's going to be way too uncomfortable to get out or do anything. And it's almost to that point already. That's why I'm thinking it might be late October. Pumpkin may be here late October. So I will try and get as much video of that as I possibly can. Sadly, they don't allow us into the labor and delivery room. Turquoise Sunsets, they actually went back to the U.S. because of that. That neither him nor her wanted to do that style of delivery. I'm not happy with it. I would love to be there for it, but I'm comfortable with it being done this way. Not a big piece with it being done this way. I'll put it that way. And it's just the way it is done here. Sadly, that's the only thing we can say. And I don't think Cindy would want any of that video anyhow. So definitely would not want that posted anywhere, I don't think. I am going to try and convince her to take some video while she's in there. But if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. With having another video coming up tomorrow, I'm just not entirely sure what to talk about, to be bluntly honest with you. I really enjoy doing the walking live streams. I am very seriously contemplating, if the weather allows, and I'm looking at the weather forecast. This is the rainy season. Here in here in Cebu. Yeah, tomorrow there's I don't know how well it can be seen. Yeah, you really can't see it terribly well. There's a 66% chance of rain tomorrow morning too. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking tomorrow's walking live stream, or tomorrow's live stream may wind up having to be from the office as expected. I was hoping to be able to fly a drone tomorrow morning, but I try to go out. I'm trying. Last week I did really well. Tuesdays and Thursdays before the office live stream. At sunup, I'm trying to be outside and launch the Mavic and launch either the Pro or the Air, the Pro one day and the Air the next. And do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays and get some practice time in. What I was kind of thinking is I've gotten a little bit more comfortable. Not to the point where I want to get silly, but to the point where I want to try and do a little bit better video. I was thinking about walking down to that bridge first thing in the morning, doing some video from that area, doing some drone video from that area, and then just beginning a walking live stream from that area tomorrow. I don't know. I may throw a backpack in there and just bring a raincoat and just be ready. But except that if it can be done, I'm going to try it tomorrow from that way. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I may actually cut this one short today at the 30-minute mark, just because I don't mind doing the 2 a week from the office. It gives me kind of a time to have a free topic when people show up. That it gives a really good a way to talk to people and have some free discussion in different ways. Just kind of see where the discussion goes that day. But trying to do it daily like that will be kind of hard. And to be bluntly honest, I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. So trying to carry on a monologue like this is a challenge for me daily without getting overly political, especially. Yeah, if you want the political rant, I could do that for hours. You can ask Cindy or many others, but that's not what this channel is about, and I try not to do that. I don't mind discussing that periodically, but I do not want to do that routinely and get known for that, as Rod's gotten known from being a real estate vlogger. It's not what his channel's about. He does a lot of it, but it's not what his channel's about. Hey, good morning to you, Steve. How you doing today? Or good evening for you. Yeah, sadly, this will end up being another office live stream just because it's raining again here in Cebu. It was pouring a few minutes ago, and it's been raining, pouring, and stopping off and on since basically sun up at 5:30 this morning. Although my new phone is weather resistant, my gimbal isn't. So I don't know. In Chicago, hey, G-Poke, Mr. Greg, how you doing today? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I'd want to be in Chicago. You can swing in and say hi to Landhawk. He's not called Landhawk anymore. I can't think of his channel name anymore. It's his name. I'm pulling a blank. Phoenix had rain, or Casa Grande had rain. Yeah, you guys are in monsoon season. Yeah, you guys are still in monsoon season. No. I don't know. Is a good monsoon rain? Okay, that may not be too bad. That's not quite as insane as downtown Chicago is anymore. Oh, I can't think of the mayor's name. I want to say Gordon Lightfoot, Lori Lightfoot. Yeah, she seems to be a real whack job, and sadly, the situation in Chicago is showing that fact too. Uh, oh, you must be doing a delivery. You doing a delivery to the airport? That yeah, Greg, I got an app for that. Out of curiosity, I'm wondering if it rained at the house. But yeah, the house. The thermometer at the house, the outside thermometer at our house in Phoenix. But you got to remember, we're in the middle of that heat sink, that urban heat sink too. Should have peaked out at a little over 105 yesterday. And that's part of the reason why we often don't get rain. Yeah, our rain graph for the last 7 days shows none. Uh, that is one drawback to living inside of Phoenix proper, the metro area. Oh, can you bring a couple of windows when you come over? That only through the vinyl clad windows, though. That they I haven't seen many of those here. Uh, yeah, and these single pane aluminum things are kind of crazy. Uh, I was kind of surprised not to find what I think of as windows in the U.S. here. Uh, Although I kind of like the setup they've got here. I can't. I haven't really seen any double pane windows like you would expect to see. And like I say, the vinyl windows are a little unusual to see here too. And since that they'll take the Phoenix sun, I know that they're the modern vinyl is able to take the Philippine sun. Uh, but yeah, a lot of that building stuff like that, you just can't get here in the Philippines. One thing that I need to look for and to see whether or not, and you might have some idea, Greg or Steve. In the U.S., you can get the mold resistant, the paint that has mold in it, mold inhibitors in it. Have you ever seen anything like that here in the Philippines? Single pane aluminum, or were you able to find dual pane aluminum? Uh, and that's something a lot of Filipinos don't quite get or accept. Is that insulation for heat to keep heat out? It is just as important as it is to keep in. The Ace hardwares that I've been in, I don't remember seeing windows. Yeah, because that's it's mainly the hey, Paul and Marlene, how you doing today? That it's mainly the Builders Depot, the Wilcon, the City Hardware that I've seen that have the windows. Whether or not you can order a vinyl dual pane window, I don't know. We've never I've never checked that far into it to find out and to find out how horribly expensive they would be. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that they might. They have a lot of the Western stuff like that. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I skipped a groove on you there, guy. I hadn't thought of that. That might be a place to go check because when we fix to go buy or build a place, I was thinking about trying to have, and I don't know what the import issues would be on this. I was thinking about trying to have a 5 gallon bucket or uh, 5 1 gallon pails kind of quietly stuffed in a like buy-in box and sent over here if I couldn't find it here just because of the mold problems that this place I actually found online. And again, this is one place where the uh, Streamlabs would have came in way handier. The street views for this are 2015 and 2018. The 2015 one, the electrical service isn't even in yet, so it wasn't occupied by May of 2015. The 2018 ones, you can already start to see some issues with it. Several of the Wilcons, I like the Wilcons way better than I do City Hardware or Cebu Builders Depot. They have a much better selection and a decent amount of Western products. Uh, Cebu Builders Depot seems to be kind of pricey, but they do have some of the Western product, the more of the higher end Western products, but not as good of a selection. Now that may be an idea too. That check the paint manufacturers. That I think it was you that made comment that a lot of times, if you can find it, you can go down to the local Wilcon and let the manager know, hey, I want this stuff, and they'll order it in for you and let you know when it's in. Not not to buy or to eat, but I did find out what it is. Yeah, it's a type of Asian catfish, uh, but I haven't seen any to eat. And again, I would love to go fishing out here, but I just don't know where or how. If things start to improve as far as travel and all the silly restrictions, her brother has a boat, and I may think about going down and offering 500 pesos or 1,000 pesos or whatever to go out in the afternoon for either him or his partner to go out for the afternoon and let me try some fishing. Don't know if it'll work, but it might be kind of cool to try. Uh, Yeah, any of the creeks nearby Cebu, I'm not entirely sure I'd want to eat anything that came out of those. So, uh, again, kind of got to love the life in a big city. Uh, I don't know of any bigger lakes here, and I know there are some, but I don't know of any bigger lakes nearby here that we could get to. That that may have fish in them that you could go fishing for. Uh, Now, are you talking about fishing in a creek or river, or are you talking about fishing out in the open ocean? Because that fishing is way different than anything we do here. Uh, I don't, down at Sabunga, from the pier, I've seen people throwing out hand lines, but I can't remember anybody there with a rod and actually casting, either bait casting, spin casting, or any kind of fishing rod. What we think of as a rod and reel. Because the other thing that we used to do a lot as a kid, that you might be familiar with, jugging. Get like an old Clorox bottle or a gallon bottle. uh, uh, and just tie a leader to the a long leader to the handle, and good big old treble hook, and then just throw some nasty rotten meat on it and just throw it out. If you want to get really cute, you can tie a second string to the second rope or something to the handle, so you haven't got to go chase it down. But and just do that and let that thing float around the pond until you see it start taking off. That now I've known people, Steve. I've known people to do what you're talking about is stunning the fish. Matter of fact, it's illegal in Arizona. Game and Fish do that a lot to get fish counts. If you get caught doing it, that's seriously illegal. That's a huge fine. A friend of mine, a gentleman I know more, but a friend, uh, that he works for Game and Fish as a biologist, and that's one of the things they'll do. They'll go through and stun, key locations and get fish counts that way. Twice now they've came across a world record largemouth bass in the different lakes in Arizona by doing that, but it's not publicized where or anything like that. But they do have it down in confidential records on where and stuff, where the size and all that fun stuff. That Papa, Greg Papa called it luxury fishing too. That and here that they're into fishing for food, not for fun. But I think it'd be kind of an enjoyable way to do it. And because it's so infrequently done here or so uncommon here, I think you actually might have better luck than you do back in the States, where the fish are pretty used to it. That I half wouldn't mind trying something like that, because the other thing that we do periodically too is, instead of putting just a single down line on it, we get a two or three the old jugs like that, tie a heavy line to the three of them 30 feet long, and every 5-10 feet put a down leader with a hook on it, or even just lose the jugs altogether and just throw the line out there, tied off to a tree or something. Yeah, that trot line fishing. Yeah, that's when we did that. That's what we do. A lot of times when we were kids and going camping, then I had a group of 3, 4 friends that I'd hang out with, and we'd go out, and that's what we do is we take an old plastic bottle or something like that, and have a hook ready. And when we go out and go to start setting up camp, we take them off, throw some, like I say, some old nasty meat or whatever, throw them on, and then just throw it out in the pond wherever we were at, go setting up camp. And typically by the time we were set up camp, we'd have a couple fish for dinner. That I could see something like that working here too. And I don't know, commercial fishing do what they call long line fishing. And that's real similar to trot line. And I don't know if they do that here. And that might be something kind of cool to try here is to do something like that and see what you could catch. One of the reality shows had the fishermen doing that on a long line fishing setup, commercial fishermen fishing boat. And it's amazing how those guys do that crap and not kill themselves. And you've got to have it down the timing down perfect, because otherwise those hooks will just rip you apart. And they use big open ocean hooks that they don't use the small game fishing hooks. And I've seen that with a lot of things. Steve, you're right. That they want, for such a patient people. In many ways, they're the most impatient people I've ever met. When I did this goes back a few months ago when we were down in Cebu and did the borax. That I told them that it's going to attract the ants, but it's going to take a month or more because you've got so many and so many different colonies, and that they didn't see results after a day, and they just stopped doing it. So I don't know. Would it work down there with as many as they've got? After a month or two, maybe, but it would take a while to get all of the different colonies to come in and eat it and go away. And like you just said, because it doesn't happen in the next 45 seconds, that it takes too long for them, and it's not going to work. That here in the townhome we're in, I haven't put any out because I haven't really needed it. That a couple of the tricks that you guys have talked about that has done a lot, and because we never let them get a strong foothold in here, we haven't seen a whole lot. I got this bait of some kind, that it's a gel bait that I think David Brown, one of the subscribers, was talking about it in New. That had to have been him because it was in New Zealand, and I found the Philippines version of the same chemical and everything, and what I found out with that stuff is it works great if you can apply it where they're coming through. If you can find where they're coming in or can apply it along the trail, they'll stop and take that back, and you don't see them anymore. Between that and just every time you see them, hitting them with Bygone, that seems to be keeping them in check well enough that or we're just not, seeing them regularly enough to worry about putting out the borax. Borax does have some other uses, and I do plan on trying to use it for some of those other uses. Okay, now I don't know what Pulutan is, but I do have a translator. That's yeah, there's an app for that. Don't. I'm not getting anything. I'm not sure what Pulutan is overnight. You're gonna have to catch me up to speed with that one. But yeah, I have way too many apps on my phone. Matter of fact, I periodically have to go delete and free up storage on my phone because I have so many. I haven't heard. No, I haven't. That. Hey, Cindy. What is Pulutan? What is Pulutan? Kind of drunk snacks? Okay. That yeah, I hadn't ever heard that word. Believe it or not, I haven't been out. I've been out. I've been drinking with Filipinos at the fiestas and stuff like that. But I haven't been out drinking with a whole lot of Filipinos. I'm not a big drinker to begin with, and I'll normally just drink at the house because of all the DUI laws and everything else in the U.S. I've kind of gotten trained not to drink outside. Yeah, kind of bar nuts. That's what Cindy was explaining. I'd never heard of Pulutan before. I'll have to keep that one in mind. I'm kind of surprised, and it may be a word that it is more of a slang word than anything else too. So yeah, yes, there's I've got a note. I had app too. Sorry, just me. There's an app for that. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for an app for dive log. I used yeah, I'm sorry, I'm horribly skipping topics. That's how she described it to me, is that there was some snacks and stuff that they were at a birthday party we had that there was a fair amount of drinking going on. That that's how she let me know what Quillathon was is reminding me of that stuff. And so I would imagine kind of like bar food in the U.S. that will change by region too. Uh, you'd see them more back home. I'm assuming you'd see them a lot more in the bars where you're from too. Is pig knuckles or pig feet and the pickled pig knuckle, pig feet back behind a bar that you could go, that you could get. I did. I can't think of any place in Arizona, any of the bars in Arizona that I've ever seen those in at. Whereas in the bars that I used to frequent back in the area of New York I'm from, that they were still fairly common there. In Phoenix, the bars I've been to, it's just wings and Slim Jims and the stereotypical stuff. Unless you go to a more of a pub type establishment, then they'll have a much better selection. One bar I was to for a long time, that they had a popcorn machine that they would leave out more often than not. And those are the best times to put out that food that you don't know what is after you've had a couple. You, you're way more likely to try it without asking what it is. And some of the food here, you're better off not asking until after you've had it and had time to digest it. The little black cubes you can get on a stick. My father liked black pudding as a kid, so I've had it before, just not in that format, and that's basically what it is. And I could definitely do some of the street barbecue and the meat on a stick. That those things are great while you're drinking. Uh, Even a buddy of mine that he was in Marine Corps in the '70s and was stationed at on a ship near that was home ported out of Subic. That he admitted that's one of the things that they would do a lot when they go out drinking is they'd go head up those barbecue, street barbecue stands and come back with a freaking paper bag full of barbecue sticks to eat while they're drinking. Now, I had a great aunt and great uncle that it was kind of a joke, but also a little bit serious, way too serious that if it couldn't outrun them, they ate it. And he was a really good shot, so not much could outrun him. And yeah, I've eaten all kinds of stuff over there, but like here, that both of them grew up. Him and her grew up in an area where that was common, and so he grew up learning how to take and dress the animal and get it to the back porch, and she knew how to get it from the back porch to the plate, and it was always going to be good. And early on, I learned as a kid, stop asking what it is. It's going to be good, and just shut up and eat. More often than not, the foods that they have here, if you can learn not to ask what it is and accept it's going to be good, it generally is. I don't think I've had anything that I really didn't like here, other than a very few different things. The one thing I was really looking forward to try, the first one they came back with was nasty. Is I'd heard about tuba, and they came back with some that it was horrible. It was white and it tasted like spiked vinegar. And Papa told me, no, that's not for drinking. That most Filipinos don't even drink that. That it's kind of nasty. Uh, and he had Don go get some in a different person. That this stuff was brown and sweet, and that was actually really good. Uh, but it had a strong kick to it too. So, and that's when I found out there was two different kinds of tuba. Uh, and yeah, as far as the street barbecue, yeah, they'll tell you it's chicken or pork, and you're kind of at their word for it, and uh, I just generally don't worry about it. It's meat and it's protein. Uh, that cats and dogs are fair game too. Fido and Fluffy can cook up pretty well if you know how to do it. Uh, but surprisingly, in this neighborhood, I haven't found, and that's just it. I haven't found it yet. I'm not saying it's not here, but I haven't found it yet. Where there's some good street barbecue. I notice a lot of them come out later in the afternoon, early evening for dinner. And so when Papa gets back, when Mama and Papa get back, then I'll have him and we'll go out one night and see where we can find some good street barbecue. And we'll try to do a video of that. I'll try to do a video of that, going out and getting the different street barbecues and then just trying some of them and see how they are. Uh, but yeah, I actually love the street barbecues for the most part. I'll even do the Yasao. Uh, not exactly my favorite, and I typically won't try that first. That I'll try uh, some of their more tame stuff, the pork meat, the chicken meat, and see how that is. And if I like that, then I'll try some of the other stuff that they have. Still haven't worked it up. Still haven't worked it up to the chicken feet or chicken heads yet, though. Just no, can't do that. Uh, the chicken intestines on a stick, that I can do. Uh, but like I say, I got to know the person. I got to know the place pretty well before I'll do that one. Uh, I see that I'm coming up on my hour mark, which people I hugely appreciate all of you guys that do come out on a regular basis, and especially on these that are kind of an impromptu that I don't have a topic to discuss and help me get topics to discuss. Uh, tomorrow's I'm not entirely sure, and if you guys have an idea of something you might want to talk about, uh, by all means, feel free to give me any comments here after it posts or email me if you know. Probably with Papa, I'll give the feet a try before too long. I'll let him help me find some that are good. I'll let him and Mama help me find some that are good. But not sure I could do the heads. I just, yeah, I don't. Even Kyle can't do. Even becoming Filipino can't do the chicken heads. So I don't feel too bad in that one that I can't do those. I do these early in the morning. I do these at 9 o'clock. I can't picture those for breakfast, no matter how much you like them. I did do a live stream with me doing durian for the first time. That was an interesting one. You'll have to go back and check that out. That's been within the last couple months. I think she even posted a YouTube short over on Team Row Family Shorts. But for today, from Cebu City in Chip Compound, I appreciate you guys coming up for this. Mabuhay.